So again, wishing all of you a very good afternoon. I am Praneeth. I'm the head of undergraduate admissions for upGrad abroad, and we welcome you to this webinar, and also super grateful to you for giving us your time on a weekend. We're sure and certain that we're going to be adding value to your time. I have with me Miss Wilma Paul and Dr. Rong from the University of Plymouth in the UK. While Dr. Rong is the head of international admissions for the Plymouth Business School, Miss Paul is the South Asia representative for the UOP. And if I'm not wrong, has been there for almost a decade and above now. So, I am glad to have had the chance to host the two of them. Just to introduce you to upGrad's mission, we're trying to ensure that we bring some of the most high quality institutions of academic excellence like the University of Plymouth to Indian students, make it more accessible for Indian students, make it more affordable, make it more democratized so that you guys can start in India, ease yourself into the academic rigor at the UOP and the B school, and actually then transition in year 2. Alternatively, the UOP is also one of our direct partners. So any of you, if you wish to go to the UK for your UG or PG programs right after you finish your high school or your bachelor's, that is also an admissible option with the UOP with us. So Dr. Rong and Ms. Paul, I warmly welcome the two of you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So we'll start right away. I think most of these attendees here, like I mentioned to you, are either studying in high schools or have graduated their high school in 2020 or 2021, now looking for their bachelor admissions in the UK. Some of them are already enrolled in bachelor's and maybe looking for the postgraduate degrees at UOP as well. Just to introduce all the learners to UOP, University of Plymouth is one of the legacy business schools in the UK, the PBS, and is also ranked as the top 25 B schools for its maritime degrees, the top 25 in the world. And in fact, surprisingly enough, it finishes its 100 years in 2022. So I'd love for Ms. Rong to throw some light on the legacy and a little bit more about the Plymouth Business School.
Okay. Thank you so much. I don't know how many of you know Plymouth Business School, and you can see the background which you show. I think Wilma show our main building, which is a Faculty for Art, Humanity and Business. And what is my background is the one if you go to visit Plymouth, come to the Plymouth Hall, this is the view you will see. And so it's not the view from any other tourist destination, it's our Plymouth view. And we always say we are the first Plymouth because there are a lot of explorers start their journey from Plymouth. And if you know a little bit history, you will know the Mayflower is sailed from the Plymouth in 1640 and also 1620. And also you will find James Cook sail from Plymouth to Australia, and the people go to New Zealand, the people go to Canada, and they're full of history if you come to the Barbican. And I don't know about how much you know the geography. We are in the Southwest, and we always say we are gate post for the tourism activities, and this is area people enjoying the tourism. Currently, especially as Praneeth, you mentioned about our heritage in relation to marine, one of the luxury yacht company called Princess Yachts is currently holding the luxury yacht exhibition in Plymouth in the Royal William Yard. And you can see those super yacht, 5 to 10 million pound in front of you. Of course, you can't go inside, but it's just in front of us. And we are the first business school run the cruise management. And there are a range of things I can share with you. And I don't know how much you want me to say. I've occupied a whole hour if you need. If you come to the business school, you will find our business school is really the international hub for the university. We got the most of the international students with mixed nationality. We got Chinese, Indian, Nigerian, we got Americans, Canadians, Europeans. Even we have a Brexit because our location is very close to Europe. By the way, you can take a ferry, Brittany ferry, from Plymouth directly go to France and Spain. So come to the Hull, you see the ferry straight away. That is our field trip to take our students to visit the Europe. And if you come to the business school, you will find that we have 3 departments. And we have accounting, finance, we have a business, and we also have international shipping, logistics, and the supply chain management, where we're talking about maritime business, which is our strength. It is mainly in that subject area. However, for other subject area like accounting, finance, we're accredited programs like accounting. So if you study our accounting program, you can have exemption from ACCA or CIMA if you're very interested in the accounting aspect. If you're you're really interested in the finance, you will get some exemption to be a chartered financial analyst. Of course, if you come to business school, you want to be HR professionals, you can do something in relation to our human resource management. Again, you get an exemption to become a CIPD certified HR specialist. And carry on to come to the tourism and hospitality subject area, which is my subject area. I teach tourism marketing. As you mentioned, yes, I have been in Plymouth since 2005. And I've been in the UK since 1999. So yesterday, when I tell my student, I say, I'm the oldest one in the Plymouth Business School now. And in the business school, I have very great pride to talk about tourism and hospitality program because we have very close relationship with industry, and industry guest speakers regularly visit us. For instance, yes, on Wednesday, I hold our first international career day for our international students. And within a day, we got 100 registration from our international student, and the student really enjoying our career support for them to looking for jobs. And the international student looking for job is very different compared to the home student. So we are trying to guide them step by step how to apply, how to use the attractive words to be selected, how do you prepare your interview, how do you prepare your assessment center, how do you go to do the interview. Step by step, we give the tips from the career consultant. And from 10th of February, we will have our international tourism hospitality event, which invite cruise company come to talk with our student, because we have very close relationship with cruise company. So they are quite happily to recruit our students to work on their Royal Caribbean cruise and the Princess cruise, just to say a few. And I'm very proud as a person who worked in Plymouth Business School for 16 years, because we are small compared to London, the universities in London area, in Manchester area, but we are friendly, we are supportive. And that's why our student graduated many years later, still come to do our master degree, can come back to do our PhD, come back to talk about their kids, come back to talk about the career support. I was almost a joke with my student who graduated in 2005. Next time, you possibly send your kids to come to study with us. And that is how close we are with our international student. I think that's from me at this stage. I can share with you a range of courses we have.
Sure. So in a couple of minutes, we will also take you guys through some of the courses that he has to offer. I think meanwhile, we'll implore upon Dr. Rong and Miss Wilma about some of the reasons that you guys should actually consider studying in the UK. When you're comparing different parts of the world, the US, Canada, Australia, and the UK. What is it that makes UK one of the top parts of the world for you guys to study in? So that's something that we'd asked the two of them. But I think meanwhile, I just want you guys to know that we have tied up with the business school to offer you BA and BSc degrees in some of the business management fields. The PBS, their business school, is one of the top and one of the most sought after B schools in the UK. Has a 3-year degree, and with upgrad abroad setting with Chandigarh University and the UOP, we actually make it super affordable for you, so much so that the entire program, the academic fee, costs you about less than 25 lakhs. Additionally, we're ensuring that your first year cost has been waived off by almost 90%, and then the cost you would have borne if you were at the campus, if you study with the setting. If not, you can always directly go to the UOP and their B school and actually sort of study the full 3-year degree. So the point is, if you like the school, if you imagine yourself studying in the UK, if you aspire to go to UOP, we will do everything in our control to ensure that the degree becomes more accessible to you, more affordable to you. Of course, the merit has to be achieved, but I think towards the end, I can also take you through some of the academic record that you must maintain for you to get into a UOP with upgrad's special setting and our partnership with the Plymouth Business School. Ms. Paul, would love to know some of the reasons why these students should pick UK as their destination.
Thanks, Praneeth. Happy to answer that. I think we're all pretty familiar with the fact that when it comes to education, I think the UK has been unmatched over the years. Every single league table in the world will have the top 10 universities, mostly from the United Kingdom. And it's no strange fact, over and above Oxford, Cambridge, Imperial. I think every year, more and more universities are added to this list. And I'm happy to announce that Plymouth is finally a top 50 university in the UK, as per the Times Higher Education rankings. We follow this particular league table because it's a little special. It has something called impact rankings also, which are calculated according to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. And Plymouth, at its heart, has sustainability and conservation that runs through all of its academics, all of its work with society on campus, work with students. So I think as a student going to a foreign country to study, over and above academics, I think a lot of other factors also play a very important role. And as Rong mentioned earlier, we're a very friendly university. I've been working with the university for over 10 years, and it's needless to say that I speak to students before they go, while they're there, after they have finished their degrees, when they join our alumni communities. And it is a very wholesome feeling. It's a very holistic sort of education that they receive. Of course, rankings matter, the quality of education matters, but there are other things like quality of life, standard of living that also matter, safety, food and culture. And Plymouth is a city, it might not be very large and crowded like, a Manchester or London, but the positive aspect of that is that as a student, you won't get lost in a crowd. You will always find a friend either on campus, whether it's your supervisor or whether it's someone from the international office. They're all ready welcoming you with wide open arms. We have a lot of communities, student communities on campus. In fact, our students union has also been ranked in the student union rankings in the UK. So as a student, especially an undergraduate student who is going to spend 3 to 4 years of your life in a university in a foreign country, all of these things really matter. Student support is something that also is universities in the UK are ranked for the kind of support they provide students. And again, because of our strengths on campus, it's a proud feeling also to say that we are always there, non-academically and personally also for students, whether it is culture shock, whether it is issues with academic progress, whether someone's not able to understand, the speed at which a lecture is going at. So these are small things that are taken care of by different teams on campus. So rest assured, when you enter campus in your first year or second year, the day you leave the university, I mean, you will have obviously a pot full of memories to take with you, but also a lot of academic qualifications that are recognized globally because it is a UK degree and because it is a degree from a reputed university like the University of Plymouth. I also want to mention another aspect why UK is so popular now. Years ago, obviously, we had something called the post-study work visa, which was obviously removed for a couple of years due to various practices. But now we have that back again. And I think that has been a driving factor in terms of recruitment for us, especially because as a student now, you can stay back for 2 years after your degree on the graduate immigration route. It's an extension visa that you can stay back on, which will help you find employment, which will help you decide if you want to study further, take up a project. So it's basically giving you more time after your degree to be in the UK. And I think this is what a lot of students appreciate, especially for a country like UK, which has always been attractive over the years. So it's just a cherry on the cake, I think, now for us.
Absolutely. I think most of what you and Dr. Rong have mentioned reaffirms the fact that UK is still one of the most recommendable options to study. Also, because of the long legacy that it carries with respect to education, with the UK being the temple of education for the entire world, with Oxford and Cambridge. And some of the best schools, like you mentioned, in any league table that you refer to, would also at this point reiterate for the learners that UK now gives you a 2-year work visa right after you finish your degree. Your Bachelor of Arts and Bachelor of Science degrees with the UOP would get you a 2-year work visa. So what we've done is, I think, Dr. Rong and Ms. Paul, one of the pertinent factors of the Indian UG market is that most of these households don't believe that that their kids are actually intellectually mature, academically ready right after school to actually transition anywhere in the world. So their second nature is to persuade them to stay in India. So, which is what we kept in mind when we were forging this partnership with the UOP, thinking that you guys can stay for a year in India, build that academic readiness, build that intellectual maturity, ease into the academia at UOP, see how it's done, see what are the subjects that you will study, so that in your second year, you can not just seamlessly transition to campus, but also pick up the majors of your choice. I think I'd also implore upon Dr. Rong or Ms. Paul to ask them what are some of the preferred courses at the UOP's B school that students can take up in the second year. While the first year is a general foundation year of your BBA program, the second year onwards, you can either transition into a BA honors degree or a BSc honors degree. Ms. Paul and Dr. Rong, now would be a good time to just run them through or walk them through the different courses that you have at your B school.
Okay, can I share the slides?
Let me just give you the rights to do that, Dr. Rong.
Okay.
Well, you have it now.
Okay. Yes. Can you see my slides?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay.
To reaffirm to everybody here, the UOP is one of the top 25 in the world for its degrees in maritime business. So while Dr. Rong takes you through, remember, it's one of the world's top 25. So it is more than an honor for us to be hosting them.
Okay, I can share the first thing, give you some idea. As I mentioned, we have 3 departments. So our course is gathered to those 3 departments. We have accounting finance, which have a accounting finance specialism. And also we have a maritime business, which have a specialism in the international supply chain management, law, logistics. And then we have a business in relation to the business management. We have international business management, tourism, international tourism management, and the marketing, especially with marketing, digital, and the social media. About we have a relationship with upGrad and also signed agreement with you for allow you to your student come to our second year. So specifically, after you study the first year with upGrad, you will be able to progress to our international business management and the business marketing, maritime business. And those are so you can have a wide range of access to our second year program. And what happened is international business and the business, this will be in relation to the business in general, and marketing, you can go to marketing general or marketing specialism. It depends on whether you want to specialize in the social media and digital marketing or not. The next one is maritime business. When you come to our maritime business, as I mentioned, we have a 3 specialism. It really depends on your interest, whether you want to focus on international supply chain, whether you want to focus on the maritime business with law or the logistics. And so we have a different specialism. This is the route you can come in to do our second year. And after second year, some of you, if you are interested in the placement, our placement is 1 year long, and you can go to take a placement, and the placement is paid placement. And we have a special support in our career service to support you looking for placement. For instance, in February, we have 5 different career fair for the Southwest business to come to the university to promote different business opportunity for placement for graduate scheme. So through those kind of career fair, you will be able to secure the placement opportunity. And so it's for me as international person in UK for so long, my first emphasis to all the international students is please looking for placement opportunity. It is paid. You get work experience later on when you finish your degree. It gives you a way advantages for other people, even compared to home students looking for jobs, to get secure the jobs because you already have a solid year experience. Most likely after your 1 year placement, believe me, a lot of employer will offer you the job if you're working so well for them. And so that's why I always say international student, please looking for placement. And currently we have quite a few international colleagues help our international student looking for the placement. And I already heard quite a few of international students get a placement in USA and in Germany. And so all those kind of activity really help us to understand our international student ambition to looking for the international career. And so for you, when you come to our second year, you will be able to choose a range of courses in Plymouth. Another thing I want to add to Pranette said, yes, possibly parents worried, allow the kids to go abroad, but believe me, we have a range of support within the school and also outside the school with the central office. For instance, to support your living, we have accommodation office, support your social needs, we have a student union, and we even have an Indian student association. And we have a Southwest, Southeast Asian community, local community of support you in study. So there are a range of services available to support our students. So if you decide to come to our final year, again, there are a range of
Ms. Paul,
hello.
Yes, we just experienced a little voice lag. I think you should be good now. Should be good now.
Okay, and I'm going to introduce our master program. Is that okay? Do you want me to introduce our master program?
Well, I don't think we have too many of our PG aspirants here, but can definitely ensure that. So Anybody here who's looking for a PG program can always get in touch with me. I'd ask Dr. Rong to send me a copy of the slide deck, and we'd love for you guys to share, for us to share that with you.
Yeah, that's fine.
You can always go through the UOP website and scroll some of the courses. And if you're interested, I can directly set you up with Dr. Rong or Miss Paul, and they can take you through the admission process at UOP for sure.
Yeah.
Miss Paul, I think Dr. Rong's videos and video and audio is like a bit. I just wanted you to sort of talk about the placement here in depth. I think that's something very interesting for the Indian students.
Yeah, sure. I think Dr. Rong covered the initial bits that students must take full advantage of this opportunity. It's usually a 42 to 48 week placement, and it's mostly paid because we don't usually do internships. We do paid placements, and it's obviously there is a process. There are placement preparation modules that students can sit for, and they consist of various things like CV structuring, just some training and business English classes, how to give interviews, basically. So, and these are all conducted in collaboration with our career services team. For a student, if you're looking to get more information about our career services team, there's a tab on the website, and it's it has a lot of information, and all of our students usually get a login to My Career. It's a special tab. So they can also look at what kind of placements are available to them as per their subject. So there is a lot of in-depth information about this. And needless to say, they're all paid. I'm not sure now what students get paid. I think Rong can share some light on how much usually students get paid for the placement. But yes, there is a process. There are interviews. And obviously, a lot of things are also looked at, such as academic progression, how good you've been in class. So all of these things usually. And it's very similar to how we do placements in India. But there are certain differences, obviously, in the way we organize networking events and fairs, like Rong said, the job fairs, and the way that students are encouraged to kind of interview with these employers. And there is always a connection between the university and the employer as well, for us to be able to track the record and how a student is performing, because these are not shadow jobs, they're proper jobs. So students are actually performing the duties as per the job description. So it's not any sort of training or shadow work. It's proper work. They're proper projects on which they work. I hope I was right. Wrong, if you can hear me.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. But what? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You can put your video off so that you can save. Your network will be okay then.
If you can switch off your video, maybe we'll have a better transmission.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, that's much better.
Okay, then. So you can see my smiley face, that's fine. And in terms of internship, we don't really do the short internship nowadays, because the pandemic will become very innovative. We have a virtual internship, and even for the virtual project, it will be
Miss Paula, losing on the connection.
We're losing you again, Wrong. If you could just point us out to either a place on the website, a link maybe for the business school, that would be great. Although it is quite elaborate on the website, it's quite easy to find.
Just to add to that, I think for everybody who's here, what Dr. Rong and Ms. Paul have been largely speaking about is that in your 3-year degree, you can take an additional 48 weeks of your placement year, which ensures that you can go off the second year, work for a complete 48-week period, paid placement, and then return back on the campus and finish your last leg of the degree. It's very similar to how the co-op functions in Canada, but I think the entire academic approach to the UOP sets it apart. I think there is a lot of emphasis on experiential education, on the idea that you're studying for 2 years and then you put all your classroom learning into practice, and then you finally come back on the campus with a greater interest in your subject, with a greater sense of curiosity on the subject as to what more do you want to educate yourself with. So I think looking at how it's been planned, your actual outcomes of the education are a lot more amplified. They're a lot more accelerated. And your actual education is not just limited to a few theoretical concepts, but actually having put them into practice. So I think also one of the things that sets education abroad than education in India is some of the, one of the biggest components is the practice of co-op in Canada and the placement year concept in the UK. With that being said, I think now is a good time for us to invite you for any questions that you may have. I have Miss Paul with me. We still have Dr. Wrong with us. She may have a low connection, but still I think we have her with us to answer any academic centered questions. So please feel free to ask us anything. Also, the eligibility criteria for the Plymouth Business School entails that you have a 70% score in your board exams in your grade 12th, and that you maintain a 7 CGPA in your semester 1 and 2 while you're in India. Only then do you get the chance to transition into UOP. Like I mentioned, UOP is one of the most prestigious schools in the UK, has one of the best B schools in the UK and in the world, in fact, which is why the criteria is a little high, but ensures that the quality of students entering the school and the classroom that you're going to be a part of is one of the best in the world. I think Ms. Paul has something to say.
Yeah, I was just wondering if you'd like me to answer some of the questions that were sent to me. I believe these were from students, and one of the important questions was the IELTS. That's the English language requirement. Yes, we do require an English language test. No, we don't require GMAT GRE. So the only actual tests that you'd be expected to give is either the IELTS or PTE, Pearson Test of English, or TOEFL. You can give either of them. For CBSE ISC students, if you have given your 12th with Central Board, and if you have over 70 to 75% in your English paper in Standard 12, then we will not require an English test from you. So this is a special entry requirement waiver that we have for the national boards. If you're a CBSE ISC student, ask us before you give any English language test, and I'm sure if you have 70 and above, we'd be happy to accept you on the basis of that. So that was one of the main questions that I wanted to address. There was also a question about cost of living in the UK. So for Plymouth, I'm happy to say that we've always recorded the lowest cost of living in the UK. So usually when you apply for your visa, you need to show that you have at least a year of living expense, 9 months minimum. So you can even show that you have 9 months of living expense. For Plymouth, it comes around up to £9,027 for 10 months. 9 months. So in the UK, every region is assigned a cost of living. So for example, for London, it would be a little more expensive than it is for Plymouth. Secondly, you will not have to pay any money to get to class. So there is zero transport cost. Our campus is really, really large, and we house a few of the accommodation buildings also on campus. So if you're lucky enough, and if you apply on time and respond to your offer letters on time, you can book your accommodation early, and you will get placed right in the center of the campus. If not, even the outside private housing is within 10 minutes walking distance from campus. So our students don't usually use public transport or cars to get to class. Some of them will probably cycle around, which is good for health, but most of them walk to class or anywhere else they want to be on campus. It is quite a large campus, north, south. We have various entrances. So depending on wherever you're staying in your halls of residence, it's usually easy to get to the main, to the business school or to the main areas, such as the Students' Union also. So cost of living is very low. At the same time, you're not compromising on your standard of living. So please remember that. So that's something that you should also think about. In fact, you can utilize that money to probably get a better accommodation, something that's closer to a laundromat or something, or a grocery store, because you won't have to spend money on day-to-day basis. So that was the second important question that I think I have addressed. We've completed the placement factor already. Part-time jobs are available. That was another question. You can sign up either with the Students' Union or with the Careers Office. I think the students get paid from £6 to £8 or £9 an hour, depending on where they work. You can only work for 20 hours a week. That is, and that we're quite strict about that, and because that's a UKVI requirement. So it's mentioned on your BRP as well, on your visa permit, that you can work for 20 hours a week during classes, basically. So we always advise students to kind of plan out their timetables accordingly, and not give too much time to part-time jobs, and sacrifice a lot of your learning time. Post-study work also, we've covered the graduate immigration route. It's for 2 years. That's the duration. There is a lot of information on the UKISA website. I'll mention that in the chat box. As an international student, if you're planning to come to the UK, I think you should subscribe to UKISA website. And it's got all the relevant information regarding visas, work, part-time work, full-time jobs, anything to do with international students basically coming to the UK. So UKISA is the one place that you can go to. The government website becomes a little difficult to understand because they publish everything as per policy, but UKISA will kind of explain it in a very friendly manner. So you'll find all of that information there. I think I've covered most of the points that
Yes,
were sent.
have been covered. I think so. Let me just see if there's anybody. What's job placement after completing study? Also, I think I just want to ask you a little bit about the career opportunities in the UK. So, just want you to throw some light on which are some of the most thriving industries in the UK, and if there are, if the students are actually willing to pick up a degree in the UK, which ones should they be ideally interested in? That's one. Two, I think I'm sure you can top up here, but just that for the learners to know, finance and banking is one of the most pertinent industries in the UK and the hotspot of education for banking, finance, for any commerce related degree. So I think Ms. Paul can throw some light on it, but I think she'd know way better here. Please, ma'am.
So we, for further clarification for students, we've also mentioned all of the company names that are related to us in terms of our industry partnerships, and they're available on that career tab that I mentioned. So when we're done with this session, probably you could go and check. Plymouth is a manufacturing hub as a city. There are a lot of factories that even I was not aware of before. I know we're always known for maritime because we're a port city. We've historically been known for tourism. So it's needless to say that all of the well-known companies in these particular areas are already mentioned on our database. But like you mentioned, banking and finance, accounting, these are obviously, I mean, when one thinks of the UK, usually everyone has their blinders on, and usually because of London and our proximity and to London and it being sort of popular for finance, Wrong would have had more information about who our partners are in terms of banking and finance, but I think she already. Oh, Wrong, do you want to say something?
So banking and okay, in terms of banking, we have very close. Firstly, we have very close relationship with chartered accountants, such as the ACCA. So our course accredited, and we also have the stock market suite, which we have very close relationship with stock market in London, even though we are in Plymouth, and our students do regularly trip to London, and so we also have a very close relationship with the local, the consulting firm like the KPMG, and also those the accounting companies, which is in the Southwest. As I said, in February we'll have a Southwest business employers come to Plymouth to organize the firm. So we have very close relationship with the local businesses, which recruit our graduates.
Absolutely. Also, I think
hope
there is some like Dr. Wrong, a little lag. I think it's.
I'm sorry. The internet connection just failed me.
No problem. I think we heard you for the most part. I think you can go now. The connection.
Okay, thank you. Bye
Yeah.
bye.
Okay. I was just going to paste the link actually. I was trying to get it up for everyone here. So I can so they can copy paste it probably. It's in the chat box. So for those of you who are interested, yeah.
Also, to throw some light on some of the potential recruiters, I think the UOP Business School actually sees recruitments from Apple, BBC, HP,
IBM, Toshiba, Google. I think.
Absolutely, yes. So I think for most of you guys here, I think in India, if you're doing your bachelor's degree, you need a really, really, really great degree from one of the top B schools in the world to actually get into some of these companies where, I mean, with the UOP, even after your UG degree, something of this sort becomes a natural reality. They've been having such recruiters in the past for the business school. I think the other part is that they've had students from about 120 different countries of the world, which genuinely adds to the diversity of the classroom, the bandwidth or the spectrum of different ideas, the diversity of thought, I think inspires you to think better, challenges how you think. I think a similar thing goes for the faculty as well. It's a purely research-driven university, I think. So a couple of these factors actually, should be very inspiring for you guys to move to a place where there's better research infrastructure, more opportunities, more global firms recruiting, more diversity in your classroom, a placement here in some of these companies which I mentioned, and of course one of the most robust and dynamic curriculum that's designed, in which Dr. Wrong was mentioning. The absolutely stellar amount of career support that they give, actually, for you guys to know, is not something very generalistic in universities abroad. Not many universities actually have that kind of sought after career services support system. Only very established universities do, with job fairs and your placement year support and all of these other job interview support, and what Dr. Wrong was mentioning about foundational skills, right? So these universities actually look after not just how you're doing in the curriculum of 3 years, but what you're going to be doing after it. Ms. Paul, I think, so Ms. Paul has just mentioned a couple of things that these guys help you do with the Campus Master LinkedIn series and interviews, finding part-time work. This is also one of the most valuable support services that a university abroad does give you. Helps you find part-time work the moment you're there, job hunting techniques, and effective planning for your career. how do you actually map your education or your degree with which options of what vocational planning can you do with it. With that being said, I think Ms. Paul has answered most of your questions already. Here's my email. I'm just going to drop in my email. Also, Ms. Paul has sent a few links on, so whichever UOP degree or the PBS degrees that you actually go for, it'll have an employability tab to it. Map, it'll show which options can you, which career paths can you go for after you complete the degree. Ms. Paul, please feel free to add if I missed anything.
Yeah, so I shared a link that was for just an example for accounting and finance, and it usually gives you a percentage of how many of our graduates are in employment after study. So it's 86% for accounting and finance, and the salary range is 25,000 for graduates. So like this, you will have it for every other degree area also, if you go back. So that link is really important for those who want to use it.
Absolutely.
And I think I received a question for another course area. So you can please look at our website in the Faculty of Science and Engineering, because that's your area of interest and not the business school. And my details are on the website. If you go to country guides and if you go to India, my number and email address are mentioned there for any of you who'd like to get in touch.
Thanks. I think you may want to just repeat to them about the significance of UKISA, Ms. Paul.
Oh, yes, Yukisa. I also, I think earlier I had, can I share my screen? Am I able to, let me just check. Oh.
Now you can, Ms. Paul.
Yeah. So here it is. So that's UKISA. The UK Council for International Student Affairs. This is a website that everybody refers to, including the British Council, including us university representatives, agents, students, counselors. This is, for example, about the GIR, the graduate immigration route. It's called the graduate route. And it tells you more about what you can do on this particular route. It's not the tier 2 visa, that's the skilled worker route. So the visas have all been renamed. So tier 4, which used to be the student visa earlier, is just called the student visa now. Tier 2, which was the employability one, is just called skilled worker route now. So everything is mentioned over here very clearly on the links. And jobs.ac.uk is the one-stop shop for anyone who wants to work in the UK, whether part-time, full-time, PhD research, anything. So that's the first place you go to. And then, of course, there are a number of other websites which universities generally follow. But jobs.ac.uk is the main one. And immigration health surcharge is something that you should also be aware of if you're serious about coming to the UK. So this will tell you about that as well. So this is a tab for the GIR on UKISA website. And you can, I think, subscribe to it somewhere. So this is on the info and advice tab. So here you have visas and immigration, fees and money, working, preparation and arrival in the UK, studying and living in the UK. So these are all very, very important tabs that, and you can log in and create an account for yourself as well. So in case you need more information. Yeah. So that's UKISA.
Thank you very much. Well, I think on behalf of upGrad Abroad, I'd like to thank you, Ms. Paul and Dr. Rong. I think she had to leave in the middle.
Yes,
Probably the connection wasn't stable, but would like to thank you for your time. I just want to put down my email address also, if in case you want to get in touch with me. Also to reiterate to all our attendees here that we have UOP as one of our direct partners. So anytime you want to study the UOP, you just need to write to me once and connect you to Ms. Paul. The other thing is we also have an affordable hybrid setting, that 1+2 setting, which is not only more affordable, but it makes it easier for you to build that kind of academic readiness and ease into that rigor of how studies are done at UOP. Ms. Paul, any final word from you?
I'm just very grateful for this partnership. Like you said, it does make a lot of difference financially also. Our fees are now in the range of £14,600 a year, but we do have a lot of scholarships. So for all of you who have, a first class, a distinction, please let us know and we will point out to the scholarships. In fact, the business school recently announced some fresh new scholarships and they've increased the amount of the current scholarships. So that's something that we're going to announce very soon to all of our partners and to all of our students. And I do look forward to welcoming some of you in September 2022, either through the partnership or through direct recruitment also. We're just happy to welcome more and more students on campus. I'm based in Mumbai, so via Praneeth, you can get in touch with me if you have any queries and I'd be happy to help you.
Thanks, Ms. Paul. Wishing all of you super good luck, and please get in touch with me if you need any help with the UK. We now have a proper direct admissions team also fully willing to help you with any application assistance that you may need. Thank you very much, and Ms. Paul, for your time.
Thank you, Praneeth. Thanks, everyone.